All right. What is Org for Good toolbox? What is it?
It's the DRG for Foods. So
DRG for Foods. That's my right.
A 3-year-long Horizon EU-funded project. We're now almost getting to the end of the first year. What our goal is to go from, I think a lot of the discussions that we've had here throughout the years that things gone about how can we develop digital solutions to be more responsible. But what does that actually mean? There's many different kind of frameworks when it comes to AI, when it comes to tracking, when it comes to data. I think lots of things been discussing here. They all kind of sit in this bigger framework of digital responsibility. So the first thing that we've been doing is building this framework with wild parties on what digital responsibility is. But again, super big, super broad.
Yeah, so 1,500 actors is huge. Almost too big.
And to cut a long story short, that's not where we're going to stop. We want to stop at actually creating a toolbox of enablers so that people who want to develop solutions can actually get these enablers, put them together, build their technology stack, maybe in a different way, so that their solution is digitally responsible. And to be able to do that, we've got money. So we've got 2 open calls on, just closed. The first open call, they'll actually kick off next year to develop some of these enablers. Second open call will open next year, and we're wanting to apply it in a context. So I like a lot of the discussions here is like, you can't keep this broad. Let's put it in a context. So we've got the context of food, and we've got these 3 use cases. So consumer food choices, targeted nutrition, digital food tracking.
And can I ask, enablers, is this software or is this list that you have to tick off? What is an enabler in this setting?
That's actually one of the challenges that I'm actually hoping to get some support in. So one of the roles that I have from Twins is a smaller work package, the toolbox of enablers. A lot of it is really technology elements. So one of them can be even approaches to architecture. So decentralized, centralized, different ways of actually building architecture. One thing's looking at is going to be lifecycle management. I love seeing what Tessa was presenting then, because I think what she's presenting can be it's sort of turned into a toolbox or a tool or an enabler. How can we make sure that even in the planning of my solution, that my architectural diagram can also be communicated to the end users of my solution? So I work a lot with architectural diagrams, and trust me, they are way more complex and way more non-understandable. But could that be an enabler that when you want your consumers or you want to actually audit responsibility, that normal, regular, non-technology people can actually understand what's happening within your systems? I love that's an enabler. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got other enablers at Twins, the organization everyone. We're building a disposable identities SDK, which enables you as a user to create a separate identity for every different context that you interact, that you can also dispose of when that context is no longer relevant.
Okay, that's a pretty wide range. Yes. There's a whole new tech stack, you imagine, and everybody basically gets... Yeah.
So my invitation, maybe to keep it short as well, is we're building this toolbox where the next iteration is for April next year. We would love to have any developers, designers, but actually even end users who are willing to do a little bit of an interview, user test, January, February next year, so that we can sort of show and talk through what we're thinking of this catalogue, of this toolbox. Is the word enabler actually the right word? Should we maybe call it something else? What is it? Because there's a little bit of an intangible term as well. So I've got my email address there. Yeah. If anybody would like to reach out and say, hey, I've got maybe an hour's time next year, tell us what you're doing, show us what you're doing, and we can maybe give you some extremely critical feedback so that you can make this more usable.
And then there's actually another call for companies that want to help build this thing.
So the first call that's gone out now, there's it's going to be evaluated. It's going to be announced next year, and there's going to be 3 to 6 projects. They get up to 300K, and they'll be developing enablers. So they're probably going to be end-to-end technology solutions, but they'll all be open source. They will also be put into the toolbox for everybody to have access to and use. So they'll be published on GitHub with documentation, etc. So we're also coaching them to help them make these enablers accessible. So that's also where we're keen to connect with developers is what do you need from someone who's developing maybe a modern technology enabler? What would you need to be able to pick that up and integrate it into your solution?
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Next year, 10th edition, they'll be ready and we can see them.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Developing anything to me, have a look till the next call. So there's 3 more projects.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much. Lorna.